Welcome back to another video on the Nortex Mining YouTube channel. Today's going to be a quick one. It's just going to be more of me documenting my journey here. This is going to be 7 months of mining Helium. Started in August, and the numbers are in for the end of February. I know we're getting close to the end of March here, so we'll have another update. I'll try and make these a little bit more regular, maybe like in the middle of each month. Just so I can have a good kind of set point for these kind of things. But yeah, so the market has continued to cool. The earnings that I took from February minings was around $400. Again, I really only cash in some portion of the earnings, as you know, the rest of it stays in the wallet. It's either belongs to the hosts, or it's what I'm choosing to just hold on to. In March, the prices kind of stayed constant around this 23 to 26 range. It's kind of been pretty consistent in there. The other thing to note is the value of miners has been continuing to decrease. So things like Bobcat sense caps. You might be able to get 500 for them, 600 for them, but I'm being very conservative in the values of my hardware here. So yeah, it's kind of just an estimate on how much the equipment would be worth, plus the amount of HNT I still have in here. But again, this is not included in my overall cost versus selling miners and mining revenue. The big news here is we are now in the positive here. I have broken even across the entirety of what I've purchased at this point, primarily because it was a very tough decision, but I chose to sell the FreedomFi bundle that I had. I had a second one come in, and with the 5G earnings not coming online onto mainnet for at least another few months, the May to June timeframe is kind of the earliest that I think it could roll out there. I chose to sell that for now. I do have every intention of purchasing another one of these 5G small cells and seeing how it goes. I think once they finally figure out the proof of coverage mechanism for that, I think it's going to be pretty lucrative to be part of that first batch of 5G miners that are online. And I think they are going to try their best to reward those early adopters, similarly to how they rewarded the early adopters of the LoRa coverage. But again, this was February. I sold that at cost, and obviously it's another community member, and we'll see where that goes. We'll see if that was a smart move or not. Again, this is 7 months of mining and selling extra hotspots that I had that I no longer had places for, or the places were no longer viable locations. After I ended up learning more, and again, the months that went by to get these hotspots into my actual hands ready to deploy, those spots were no longer viable, so I ended up selling some. So all in all, finally, after the 7 months, we are in the positive now. This is going to be profits from here on out. Whether I want to keep cashing out or not is to be determined. I think I still might follow the same thing and maybe turn some of this cash out money into upgrades. Going to the month by month total, the top 2 flagpoles earners are still doing pretty well. Almost 10 here for this Heltec, about 7.5 here for this Bobcat. And then other things happen, like I've been talking about these two bobcats are ended up coming in just too late. If I could have gotten these back in June or July, I think they would have already paid themselves off by now. But both of them combined have still only brought in about 30 HNT. So that's not cutting it. These are going to have to be definitely relocated. And then other times, say life happens, and I need to get an SD card replaced in this unit, and things, life happens. It's helium mining's not the most important thing. Although I would love it to be, but it's definitely not. This other one here, I'm gonna have to move and maybe do a chimney mount for this one, or move it back to the attic area where it was previously. This one was moved outside and put onto a satellite mount, but I think it ended up being lower, and so it's not really performing as well as I wanted to. Um, and yeah, that's kind of it. So the earnings thus far for the 7 months across the 9 miners that I have is in the 254 range. So I mean, even then, even if I would have held on to everything, to every single fraction of a coin, I still wouldn't be at whatever I spent. I don't think. Um, so, anyways, yeah, that's basically the update of where I'm at, what this realistically looks like when you try and scale too fast, too quickly, or if you have some spots that aren't as good as you thought they were going to be, just due to either saturation or um, a bunch of other things. I mean, I think it had been pretty steady here in the 40s for these 5 months here. Obviously, February is a shorter month with only 28 days. So maybe that played into it a little bit. But we'll see how it bounces back in March. And yeah, we'll see you guys on the next one.